Hi y'all. So I've had multiple requests for a hair tutorial video, and I feel a little bit weird doing a hair tutorial video because I'm not a hairdresser. I have no training in doing hair, and what I do to my hair is actually really simple. But maybe it being really simple will mean that my tutorial will, do some good for people because it's not hard at all. Anyway, a few things before I get started. Ideally, to do this type of hair, you would do an overnight wet to dry set. You would, wash your hair at night, put in some setting lotion, also known as hair gel, mousse, whatever, and curl it, roll it in rollers, and sleep on it and let it dry, and then start at that step after curling in the morning. However, I don't get to do that because in the mornings I go to the gym and get all sweaty, and it would ruin all of the curl that I'd spent all night setting. So I'm going to show you what I do in the morning. It is not quite as resilient a curl, so you can't play with it quite as much before you start to lose it, but it works for what I do in the mornings because I don't really mess with it that much. But I'll show you a few different things you can do with it, and hopefully you'll enjoy the tutorial. Okay, here goes. Okay, so here we are, starting with slightly wet hair. We're starting with clean hair in this tutorial. Ideally, you would start with dirty hair, not oily or greasy, but dirty. So we're blow drying the hair now. One small thing that you'll think about while you're actually blow drying your hair is trying to blow it into the position that you're ultimately going to want it to be. So for instance, I take the back and I blow it downward because I want the back of my hair to lay down, and then I lift the front and the bangs so that they're being dried upward to give them lift. So I mentioned before that we need to make the hair dirty. The product that I'm going to use in this video is called Style Sexy Hair. It is a spray clay, and I'm just going to spray it on my hair. I'm going to make sure that I get it on all the different parts. This is just to give your hair some shape ability. Clean hair does not hold shape very well, so that's what products are for. Products basically make your hair dirty without it being greasy and disgusting. There are other products you can use. There are gels, there are mousses. I like the spray clay because I like the texture that it gives my hair. Your mileage may vary. Now I'm just going to run a brush through. That is to get the product evenly distributed through the hair and to get tangles out. We want to start with nice, smooth, tangle-free hair before we add the curl. And next is actually adding the curl. So what I'm going to do, I'm starting sort of in the back at what would be a normal person's part. It's where my hair actually starts since I have the shaved side. I'm using a curling iron. It's set at a pretty high heat, and I am just going to take this little section. I'm going to curl it all the way down. I'm going to hold it until it gets hot. And I am not going to unroll it all the way when I release the curling iron. You're going to see I'm going to loosen it just a little, and then I'm going to open it up just enough to pull it straight out so that we don't mess with that shape of the curl that I get. And then you do not touch that curl again for a long time. Then you pull the next section up. You do the same thing until you have all of your hair that you want curled in tight little curls. Another thing we're going to point out is you want to make sure your curls are facing the general direction you want them to face in the end. They will be shapeable, but if they are already facing the correct direction, it makes it a lot easier to style. Alright, and now that we're finishing up the last curl, we are going to wait. We're going to wait for a few minutes. We're going to let this cool. You do not want to bother your curls until they are all completely cool. And now that the hair is cool, we are not going to use this brush. The brush that I just picked up is what you would have used in the 80s if you wanted the giant floofy curls. What we're using for the pinup punk curls that we want today are our fingers. So I'm just going to pull the curls out just a little. They're getting very curly, and now we pick up the brush and we use that to do the shaping. And this is the part where I can't really teach you what to do, because you have to just look at what your hair does. What I'm doing with mine is I'm pulling it up and then I'm just smoothing the curls down around my fingers, making big smooth finger curls in the shape that I want them. Some of them are going to look exactly like I want, some of them are not. The ones that don't, I just pull out and reshape. You can do this a lot more if you have done an overnight set. If you've done an overnight set, you can mess with this for hours and your curls are going to stay in place. With a curling iron curl, you have to be a little bit more frugal with your styling, because these will start to relax and not hold their shape quite as well after a while. Now, I have plenty of time to show you several examples in this video, which I will do right now.
Marvelous bone, marvelous body bits for which to make a whole. From his own image, God made a monster, called it a man, indeed it was good. I'm just a man.
So this is one way that I would end my styling with. I would pull that down to get a little shape, and so what I've done is I've separated curls where I want different curls, and I've left them big and chunky where I want a big chunky piece. And then now I'm just going to brush all the way through it. I'm going to show you another look. Alright, so I've sped this up a little bit to save us some time, but basically what I'm doing is I'm brushing everything up together and I'm pulling it all down into one great big finger curl. This gives a very 1940s look. It's a nice little evening look. But then if you decide you don't want it quite that smooth, you can start pulling out individual curls like I've started doing here. And I don't have any accessories with me right now, but I could put a bandana or a headband over that and have those big curls as bangs, and that would be extremely cute. And then one last little look that I think is cute. This is sort of a, I don't have a lot of time, but I still have curl in my hair look. I brush everything back, and of course, like I said, I don't have my accessories ready for this tutorial, but I would put a bandana over this back part that I'm slicking back, and I'll pull bangs out in the front, and I will curl those under, Betty Page style. And this is an adorable look with a bandana or a headband or even a hat or a cap, if that's your thing. And the last thing that I'm going to do here is just kind of go over again my general everyday look. Brushing through sections to make big curls, and I'm placing those curls where I want them. And then you're going to see that I'm going to pull out little individual curls where I want it to be a little bit more textured. And that is my everyday look. Sometimes I will spray it with hairspray. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I want it to be touchable. And that has been my hair tutorial video. Thanks for watching. I hope that it was helpful, and I hope it inspires somebody to do something new with your hair. Bye-bye!
Snuff the light and turn on.
Oh, you're going to see the video and you're going to be like, wow, the tutorial. Probably cut that last.